everyone, welcome back to the show. We are here today with our second Cabral HouseCall of the weekend. Can't wait to get into today's show after episode 1800, which was yesterday's show. Big milestone there. Super excited. Once again, I want to give you thanks. Truly appreciate you tuning in every day to the Cabral concept and being a part of this global health community. If you want to read along with today's questions, you can go to stephencabral.com/1801. That is today's show. Feel free to read along as we go through the questions. And what this show is all about, if you are new to the show, is we answer our community's questions each and every Saturday and Sunday on wellness, weight loss, anti-aging based topics, whether it be children or adults. It really doesn't matter. We're here to try to help to the best of my ability. And this is not a show where I am doing a lot of research on your particular case. What I'm doing is simply reading your question for the very first time and giving you an off-the-cuff based on 20 plus years of work experience and over 250,000 people seen in my practice. So I'm trying to give you a lot of what I've already seen and that I know to be beneficial and that you might want to look into. So that's what this show is all about. Love being able to answer your questions. I really do. And so today we are getting started first with James. James is writing in saying, "Hey doc, hope all is well. Was wondering how to ask a question for the podcast. I really would like to know the realistic aftermath of the COVID virus. I keep reading and researching post-COVID syndrome and can't shake a lot of the crazy things I am seeing and hearing. My 6-year-old has COVID as we speak. He is generally healthy and no conditions and is asymptomatic. However, he's on a highly inflammable diet and not sure he gets any real vitamins or minerals on a consistent basis. This is very concerning for me and should be for a lot of people. The question is this more fear-mongering by," I'm not going to name because I'm not a political person, I'm just going to put the media instead of a particular media outlet, and our government to ensure our reliance on a particular, you know what? Or is this legit research? It's stating that it can affect even healthy individuals who never actually show any symptoms or the virus. Doc, you're the only one I trust, and I'd like your feedback on this. Thanks for all you do." James, I appreciate you writing in, and I appreciate your trust, because I'll tell you this, I take your trust very, very seriously. I never put profits above people. It's always people before profits, okay? I believe in companies. I believe in small businesses. I believe in a free society, all of those things. We have to understand is all of this is fear-mongering. It really is. I did a whole podcast on this, James. You wrote in about 6 weeks ago. So I just want you to know, I realize that I can't get to your questions the same week because we have a big queue of people built up. But I've answered this in depth, and I bet you already listened to it, but here it is. Let's see. I'm going to get you the exact show, and then we will know. It wasn't that long ago. Let's see. I'm going to find this. It's called literally post-inflammatory. Here it is. Episode 1776, how to deal with post-viral inflammatory syndrome issues. Just go to stephencabral.com/1776. That's going to give you everything you need to know. Do not listen to the media. Honestly, do not listen to the media. Listen to doctors, listen to virologists, listen to people that are actually working with real people. Is there something called post-viral inflammatory syndrome? Yes, it's been around forever. It happens with Epstein-Barr virus. It happens with herpes viruses. It happens with Lyme disease, with mono. It can happen with any virus. This is not unique to this particular virus. Do not let the media try to get you in fear as well. It happens to fractions of a percent, okay? Fractions of a percent. It's a real thing, and it happens with every virus because of the inflammatory-based issue. I go through what it is, how to deal with it on episode 1776. Thanks, James. Appreciate you. But Tina's up next. Hi, Stephen Cabral. I like that we're being formal here. Thank you so much for your work. Really appreciate it. I have a friend, 38 years old, who suffers from what I believe in English is called gallbladder acid bile malabsorption or gallbladder malabsorption. The doctors say that there isn't much to do except some medicine, but so far my friend isn't taking anything because she is concerned with the side effects. What would you recommend that I suggest her to look into and hopefully help her? She cannot afford your products, unfortunately, due to the taxes that DK puts on. I hope you can suggest something that she can find here in Europe, which will help her. Thank you so much for your time and help. Okay, so Bettina, this is a real thing, so it's legit. It is called, it's actually called bile acid malabsorption. So in the US, at least, we call it BAM, B-A-M, bile acid malabsorption. So what it is, though, is it's that your intestines are not properly uptaking the acid, the bile again. So just think of it as bile. So I wish I had my health model right here, Walter, with me, but basically, what we're looking at is the gallbladder storing bile, the liver dropping the bile down in the small intestine, then the bile works its way through, and it basically, along with it, it drops toxins, and all of those things mix with the bacteria in the stool, and it comes out of your body. Now, but the bile then is reuptaken back into the body to be used again. But some people, well, they don't reuptake it, which can cause actually loose stool, diarrhea, all sorts of issues. So it's not obviously ideal. It is necessary for digestion. But what we want to look at is what is the state of the body that's causing this? That's what it always comes back to. So, I mean, no, Bettina, what I would say is, again, so my company is at equi.life, equi.life, equi.life. And that's basically my private Boston practice that we've now taken online for everyone in the world. So I would recommend the Big 5 labs, since this is a serious thing for your friend. Let's say they can't run the Big 5 labs. Run at least the starter kit. Run something to figure out what's going on with the body. And let's say you don't run the labs through our company. You can see the labs that we're doing, and then you can try to find a naturopathic doctor or a functional medicine doctor or an IHP level 2 over in Europe, okay? And then you could say, well, I can't afford your products, whatever it might be, because of the taxes. Again, I understand. We don't levy these taxes. I say that all the time. It's like, when you check out, the shipping is to the penny. We oftentimes lose money with shipping. We charge only what shippers charge us. Taxes, we don't make any of that money on taxes. The only thing we charge for are the products. That's it. But let's say you can't afford the products. Look at the products we would use and then find the best matches for you over in your country. In Europe, it's much more challenging. Very, very challenging. I tried. So I was over in Germany and I looked, and I was over in Australia as well. There just aren't a lot over there. That's the truth. It will become bigger. I would say 10 years from now, functional medicine is going to become bigger as well. Bettina, hopefully that was helpful. Sheila is up next. I have recurring knee injuries on one side that flares up with physical activity such as jumping, dancing, hiking, or squatting. I had an MRI, and there's nothing structurally wrong with it. It seems to be inflammation causing pain. What do you recommend to treat it naturally? I was thinking of doing high-dose omega-3 to see if it helps. What else can I do? I've had this problem for over 3 years now. Okay, Sheila, I'm going to read this one more time. I have a reoccurring knee injury on one side that flares with physical activity, such as jumping, dancing, hiking, or squatting. Okay, so I can help you with this. I mean, my career until about 2010 was as a strength and conditioning professional, personal trainer, and as someone that really specialized in postural analysis and what was something called the National Academy of Sports Medicine on gait analysis, all sorts of different things. But regardless, I wasn't the only one, of course. There are many thousands of practitioners. And we're lucky to have practitioners that do this all over the world, okay? So here's the thing, though. Although there's not a structural issue in the joint, this is most likely an alignment issue, like 100%. So yes, you can take omega-3s, no doubt about it. But what are you doing? You're taking an anti-inflammatory because of an issue that flares up with physical activity. So yes, balance your omegas, no doubt about it. If you're not using omegas, yes, okay, no issue. However, there is most likely an alignment issue, and it's not going to be difficult to fix. Probably not. Again, I can't say that for sure. You most likely have tight hips, glutes. A lot of women do. I want to share why. For women, the hips are wider than where the knees are. So when you look at it, the angle is actually steeper. And this has been well researched and studied. It's one of the reasons why women during, for example, a sport like soccer, suffer more ACL injuries than men. There's a steeper angle, okay? The torque is different on the knee. But let's take that out of the equation, because obviously that doesn't have to happen. So here's the issue. And again, there's different structural alignments that go with each body type, right? So like a different structure of the human body. So let's take male, female out of the equation. We're looking at sometimes tight hips, tight piriformis area. We're looking at tight hip flexors. We're looking at tight calves and immobile ankles. I've done a lot of training Thursdays on this before, but the truth is this. You could check out my video on foam rolling the hips. That would be a good one. But really what you want to do is you want to find a good functional range conditioning specialist, is what they're called, or National Academy of Sports Medicine certified personal trainer, someone that knows posture and knows the body. The reason why I mention this is that it's actually quite fixable. I used to see women and men in my practice all the time with knee issues. We foam rolled the hips. We opened up the hip flexors through stretching or palpated them. We foam rolled the IT bands. We worked on ankle mobility, and then we changed the way that they were squatting and doing these exercises, meaning to get back into proper strength, strengthening the VMO muscle on the inside of the knee, strengthening the glute medius again with band work. And so that's why I can't give it to you all, obviously, in one podcast, but there's no doubt about it. You'll be able to fix this. I'm very, very confident. Very confident. And you can see my energy is getting a little higher because I love the fitness field. I mean, I'm still a strength and conditioning specialist. I'm still a personal trainer. It's like, it's part of what I do. It's part of my integrative practice. I love it. I just don't work with people in those particular sessions anymore. That's all. All right. Mike's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. How long should I wait to do the heavy metal protocol after finishing the mold toxicity protocol? Okay, it's a good question. It can actually be done in unison with it if you choose to. It's 3 more products, so that's why like a lot of people like to wait, and we like to stagger them because it's just taking more products. It's not that you can't do it. We just like to spread it out. So what I typically say is after the mold protocol, you might want to do an intestinal cleanse, and then after that week, you just do your heavy metal detox, and that lasts for 6 weeks. But it's super easy. Like, it's not like it's difficult to do. You let the products do the work. Your vitamin C, your cracked cell chlorella, your cilantro, and then typically we're using a biofilm disruptor, and that's optional if you choose to do that, because I know you just did it previous to that. So good question, Mike. Ryan's up next. If you had a low readiness score on your Oura Ring, would you recommend skipping the cold shower that day due to potential extra stress on the body? I'm only talking 2 to 3 minutes here, and in the shower, not a long cold soak. Okay, yeah, this is a great question as well. It's an interesting question because, I mean, I use an Oura Ring as well. If I have a lower readiness score, it's not to say that you need to change your entire day and be worried about it. What I worry, and so Ryan, this is the answer I would give you. If it's been multiple days in a row of a lower readiness score, yeah, then don't do it, because it's one more stressor, and you need to be in more of a relaxed state. Instead of that cold shower, do a little bit of meditation, do a quiet walk, do just breathing exercises. That's it. So, because the cold is a stimulus. The stimulus turns on that nervous system. The nervous system pushes those adrenaline levels. It's a lot that goes into this. So, and again, I agree with you that a cold bath or plunge is 10 times more powerful in the body than a cold shower. But yet a cold shower is even more powerful than just going out in the cold air or cryotherapy. And I did a podcast on that, on cold therapy. So if you didn't check that out, definitely go back to stephencabral.com/podcasts. And if you can't find the episode using the search box, just ask the community inside of cabralsupportgroup.com. So if it's one day and you love doing the cold shower, Ryan, I would say do the cold shower, but don't get yourself so pumped up. Like, relax into it. Really let that parasympathetic nervous system work. So I would have no issue with that. But if it's been 2-3 days in a row with a low readiness score, you need to work on extra sleep, nourishing foods, calming that exercise, just do some walking, really light work until you get that readiness score back up. Great question. All right. Well, we're flying through questions here, so I'm going to answer another one. And the next question is going to be, and I need to switch my notes here, to Chris. Chris will be our last question today. Chris asks, no, we already answered that question. All right. Let's get one more. The one more question is going to be, who's it going to be? From Jenny. Even though it's not in particular order, we're going to take Jenny's question next. Jenny says, hi, Dr. Cabral. I've listened to your podcast on episode 1148 and 1103 on the mold protocol and diet, and I didn't hear anything about potatoes, sweet potatoes, or starchy food, whether to avoid them, limit them, or what on the mold protocol. Can you help with this? I just want to make sure I'm doing this right. LOL. Thank you so much for all you do. All right, Jenny, it's a great question. And your question bumped the line by about 2 weeks, so hopefully this is helpful. So we allow sweet potatoes and potatoes on the Candida protocol and the mold protocol. By the way, they're different variations of the same thing: fungus, mold, yeast. They're in the same genus or family. So what I want to say is this: yes, but we always don't eat the skins, because the skins can actually contain more molds, and we don't go overboard. We do a half a cup to 1 cup per day maximum. So that's what we're looking at. So again, what we do in my family, I don't eat the skins of potatoes. Some people do. I used to, but since my gut just doesn't like them, I just don't do them. But no matter what, when you get potatoes, you could do the apple cider vinegar soak that I've talked about before for produce, but really you can just wash them under water and use a scrub brush. You can kind of hear that. That's me pretending I'm scrub brushing it. Use a scrub brush, really scrub the outside of the potato before you cook them. So I do cook them typically with the skin on. And again, I wash those first with a scrub brush. So Jenny, half a cup to a cup per day, sweet potatoes, potatoes fine, don't eat the skins, and you should be A-okay as long as you don't have a sensitivity to them. So that is it. Those are our questions for this Sunday edition of the Cabral House Calls. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have an amazing start to the week, and be sure to tune into tomorrow's Motivation and Mindset Monday. Take care, everyone.